Welcome to Destination Central. I'm Monique Waller and today we are in the Matamata-Piako district looking at the rural community and some of the businesses that help support it. We also have another fantastic weekly prize to give away, so stay tuned and let's go check out our first business. Landmark Vets have been a strong part of Matamata-Piako for over 12 years. Now we're standing in the Holmes family farm with their beautiful cows in the background. Tell us about Landmark Vets. How did this come about?
Well, we came to New Zealand 12 years ago and started off working in Morrinsville, and after a year that moved to Matamata, where I worked for a big clinic, Marks & Ewan, and we decided to buy out their cow and small animal business in 2004.
And how long have you been practicing as a vet?
Oh, that's a big question. I've been practicing for 17 years now.
Which animals do you specialise in?
Well, I prefer to deal with these animals, cows, but I try and do everything. We do dogs, cats, dairy goats is quite a big part of the business as well.
So you do cater for family pets?
Yes, definitely. A lot of, at least, I'd probably say about half the business is dogs and cats and rabbits and all the smallies.
What are some of the issues farmers are currently finding with their herds?
Well, I think one of the things you'll find is right here. You can see it, how the grass is all short, and that's not because the cows have just been in it, but just because it's getting very dry. I think that's the biggest challenge facing farmers at the moment. The other thing this time of the year, which is probably more to do with us, is a disease called facial eczema, which is a condition where the liver gets damaged and where cows get very sick because of that, and that's caused by something that grows in the grass, only in autumn.
How can farmers prepare for this?
The facial eczema, there's several ways to address that. Obviously, by reducing the grass intake, you gain some. Then there is treatment in water and through meal that you can give to cows as a preventative. Or you can spray the pasture with a specific fungicide which will stop facial eczema from happening.
So what are the services that you provide at Landmark Vets?
We offer a full range of first-line animal health services. So from your large animals, that's probably anything you can think of to deal with cows or dairy goats or sheep, alpacas, any animal that you've got on your block that's not a small domestic animal, that we deal for that. For the domestic animals, for the companion animals, the dogs, the cats, we offer a full range of first-line services. So we do vaccinations, we do basic surgery, we do extensive diagnostics, but we don't do necessarily the difficult orthopedic cases. We refer them through to specialist surgeons just to get the best result for the pet and the owner in the end.
And what do you find the most enjoyable part of the job for you?
Well, for me personally, it's talking to people. At the end of the day, when the animals can't talk, so the owner will have to tell you basically what they found wrong with the animal, and that'll help you find the right diagnosis. The communication with the owner is really what makes the whole story work. There's nothing more enjoyable than at the end of the day, the dog or cat or cow going out, being healthy, and the owner being happy.
Well, that sounds great. So how do we get in touch with you? Well,
we've got two locations. We've got one location in Matamata on Fortainui Street. The phone number there is 07888 5555, and we've got another branch in Tiarawa where we're currently building a new clinic. But the old clinic is at 190 Whittaker Street, and the phone number for that is 07884 9459.
So from farm animals to family pets, whatever your concern, make sure you give Ian a call. We're out on the farm with Mike Pickering from Concrete Grooving, who's about to show us his new business venture. So Mike, tell us about your new business. What is Concrete Grooving?
Concrete Grooving's one of the processes is used for grooving slippery concrete in cow yards, feed pads, basically wherever concrete's slippery. It can be cut into grooves so that the cow's feet or the animal's feet don't slip on the concrete.
And what are the benefits to the farmer and the cows?
Well, as cows start slipping over, they injure themselves, take skin off themselves and damage bones and chip knees, and it puts the cow under a lot of stress. It just makes it a whole lot smoother on the cow shed.
Tell us about the process for creating the concrete grooving.
I've got a machine here that's set up to groove the concrete. It can be set up for doing a whole lot of different things. It can be grinding the concrete surface flat, scabbling it just to roughen up the whole surface. What it's set up to do at the moment is just groove the concrete in grooves about 5mm deep by about 25mm wide, just to create lines in the concrete and roughen the surface so the cow's hooves grip on it.
Now what time frame can this be completed in, obviously depending on the size of the concrete?
It's quite fast to do actually. We were out at this job the other night and it took us a couple of hours to do basically the two sides of the herringbone, a lead into the herringbone and on the off ramp to the herringbone. Yeah, and that's all we've done at this stage. We're going to do a couple more runs in a minute just to show you how it works. Yeah, maybe down the track Greg would probably want to do the whole lot.
Are there any other uses for concrete grooving other than cattle yards?
Yeah, feed pads, even round your swimming pool at home. Might have a slippery surface, or basically wherever you've got a slippery surface. It can either be grooved or scabbled. Scabbling just roughens up the whole surface, almost to like a new surface that had just been laid in concrete that hasn't been troweled off really smooth.
What other services do you have available here?
I've also got a stump grinder for grinding out tree stumps, obviously. Do anything from a little tiny stump to, you know, probably 1/2 metre to diameter or more, 2 metres diameter, even up to. Just, you know, it depends on what there is about, you know, what it's got. And also got a little invention, which is a captive pin D-shackle. It's a shackle that basically you can never lose the pin. And I know that's a problem with D-shackles because they're mostly used for a removable link and whatever you're trying to attach to something. So yeah, it's a great advantage to be able to keep the pin with the shackle and not have to worry about where it is.
How can our viewers contact you?
You can contact me on my landline 07888 4140 or my mobile 027 29 30 102, or you could email me on dtech.shackles.clear.net.nz.
Fantastic, well thank you so much for that, Mike.
Yeah, that's no problem.
So to stop your cows from slipping in the yard, give Mike a call today for a quote on concrete grooving. Now do stay tuned, as after the break we have more fantastic businesses in the farming sector and details of how to enter this week's competition at the end of the show. We've arrived at the Stories farm just outside of Matamata, about to have a chat with Kate from Abron about how they can help out on the farm. Hi Kate, so what is Abron all about?
So Abron's been founded as a company to help farmers get better results on farm through unlocking the soil's potential. So yeah, we specialise in soil and plant nutrition, and we do offer farm system and dairy nutrition consultancy if that's required as well.
So how does this translate to services? What can you offer the farmer?
Yeah, so we believe that the soil is the engine room of any farming business. So we have developed a proven system to really create a healthy, sustainable soil base. We use a mixture of scientific testing and visual assessment reports to determine what's required on that farm and put together a program as required. So we provide sound advice to our farmers and ongoing support to ensure that they are gaining the results that we've talked about from their fertiliser program.
Explain to us, what is the Abron process?
So we start by what we call a discovery day, so that means sitting down with the farmer, having a good talk to them, understanding their farm goals, current frustrations and what they feel is limiting their production. And then go through just, you know, basic general farm information, and then gather past fertiliser usage and all those types of things. From there we head out into the field and we do what's called a visual soil assessment. So that's a New Zealand standardised way that we can assess the health and the quality of the soil and also the production and the quality of the pastures as well at that site.
So we're in the middle of summer now. What are some common issues that farmers are having this season?
This season common issues I'll definitely say is operational operating off a lower milk price, so in conditions like this it makes it a little bit more tougher when you're looking at keeping those cows nicely fed and milking through on maybe a bit more of a pinched cash flow. And then obviously the moisture deficit at the moment is causing a bit of strife for a few guys, but yeah, that's this time of the year, I guess. As a bigger picture type challenges that farmers are facing, certainly compliance and the need to change is obviously on the horizon. So that would be an issue that I'd say that farmers are facing, and a little bit feeling possibly uneasy about how they go about meeting compliance and farming still in a profitable and productive manner.
Is there any kind of withholding period for pasture before the animals can graze?
No, with our fertiliser regimes that we use, pastures and crops are fine to go on post-fertiliser application. I mean, we still use nitrogen and phosphate and potassium and bits and pieces like that when it's required, so depending on the levels that that's applied at, typically it's fine to be grazing.
Great, and what about organic farms? Are there options here?
Yeah, we certainly do look after and provide advice for organic farmers, but majority of our client base is certainly made up of conventional farmers that feel that they can just take their farm one step further and get better margins from their inputs to their outputs.
Well, that all sounds really good, Kate, so how can we contact you?
Cool, so the office number 0800 722 766 is a good way to get in contact, or the website has a lot of fantastic information on it, which is www.abron, which is abron.co.nz.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if you want to know more about how to improve your soil and pastures, give Kate and the team at Abron a call today for your on-farm consultation. Out the back of Matamata and on Waiomo Street is Jswap Stockfeeds, where we'll be speaking to Morgan about the different type of feed on offer. Hi Morgan, when did Jswap move into the stock feed business?
About 10 or 11 years ago we started on the sort of journey where we're in now, with mainly started off with the palm kernel. That's still the biggest part of the business with stock foods, and the business has steadily grown since then, and we're into other things as well now, like other products, local grains, barley, maize and other things, and the business has grown from there.
So what stock foods do you provide?
Well, mainly the palm kernel is the biggest part of the business. That's probably 80 to 85% of the volume of what we do. That's imported from Malaysia and Indonesia. And then there's a few other, what you might call niche market products as well, the likes of tapioca, barley, maize, and then some high protein stuff out of Aussie like cottonseed, canola, DDG, soybean, and those types of products.
What are the benefits associated with non-pastoral food?
Well, essentially in New Zealand we're basically going into a sort of hybrid farming systems now, where they use these meals in conjunction with pasture, because throughout the year pasture growth sort of is a bit up and down. It moves around a little bit. There are periods where we grow a lot of grass, and then there's periods where we can get quite tight and short. So it helps cover those periods, so you can fill in those deficits, and the farmers can keep going right till the end of the season and still have a reasonable year on production, even if it does get tight.
So can it be seen as a bit of a backup feed?
For some guys it is, and for some other guys they are basically feeding every day of the season for 9 months of the year, and some of the winter milk guys are going right around, they're feeding stock, our type of stock foods for 12 months of the year, every day of the year.
Are there any special instructions on how to feed out meal?
Well, not so much the palm kernel. Like it can be fed at, well, it can be up to half the cow's daily diet if you get short, really short. That's basically really why it's taken on so much in New Zealand, because a lot of the other grain type feeds, you can run into problems where cows can get acidosis and you can lose cows and they can die. You can't do that with palm kernel.
Are stock's nutrients needs different throughout the changing seasons?
Yeah, depending on the way the seasons go. If you get wet springs and wet late winters, they need more energy and more carbohydrate in their diet. We can accommodate that with, we've got higher starch feeds that we can put in, and then over the summertime, if you run into really dry dry periods, they need more protein generally. So we can alter things to suit and mix in other products where possible.
Now, what would you say your point of difference is?
Well, we're vertically integrated. So essentially, you ring through to the on our 0800 number through to the office. The orders go on the system. The transport team are in the next office across. They schedule the jobs to be done, and quite simply, they get done within a few days. There's no other subcontractors we're relying on. It's all in-house.
So a very prompt service.
Yeah, that's correct.
And how can we contact Swap Stockfeeds?
On the 0800 number, 0800 for Jswap, or on our website www.swapstockfeeds.co.nz.
So for all your stock feed requirements, give Morgan and the team at Jswap a call today. Still 2 more businesses to go, so don't go away. And remember to enter the sweets competition. The question will be coming up next. We are outside Milk and Water Services in Matamata, about to go in and ask them exactly what they have on offer. Hi Sean, so what sort of products do Milk and Water Services offer?
Right, as the name suggests, Milk and Water, we offer a full range of milking machine parts and spares, water products from RX plastics fittings through to PVC fittings, water pipe, effluent fittings, full range of galvanised fittings, galvanised pipe. On the milking machine side, pulsator spare parts, jetter spare parts, clusters, new pulsators, vacuum pumps, full range of loan pumps, new pumps, and Luara water pumps. So yeah, we pretty much cover everything in the field of milk and water on the farm.
And how long have you owned the business for?
We've been in the business here in Matamata for 6 years. We stepped in and took over the business and ran it for 2 years for Milfos, and then bought the company approximately 6 years ago. So yeah, we've been here for a while now.
And a bit of experience in the industry?
Yep, I joined the industry back in 1990, so I've got approximately 22 years experience in the business with water pumps and milking machines. So yeah, a fair bit of experience.
So what can you offer farmers here in the Matamata-Piako district?
We can offer a full service from milking machine checks to bore servicing to machine, as I say, machine checks, full water systems, effluent upgrades, water upgrades. So we can put a bore down, we can trench the pipes in, we can place all the troughs, hook all the troughs up. So on the water side of it, a complete service, and the same on the milking machine side. So we can upgrade pulsators, upgrade milking machines, new installations, new milking machines, yep.
So very much a one-stop shop then?
A one-stop shop, yep, that's right.
And tell us about the brands that you stock.
We stock Milfos Innovative Dairy Systems, so all the full Milfos range of dairy equipment, but we also stock parts for other brands as well.
So tell us about the team that's employed here.
We have an excellent team. We have Robin De Jong, who's lived in Matamata for all of his life, and he takes care of our water side, so vast experience there. We have Chris, who does all our milking machine checks and sort of more on the technical side. And then we have Wade, who's sort of our backup on both sides and does quite a bit of engineering work and stainless steel work out the back.
What would you say your point of difference is?
Our point of difference, I think, is our service on and off the farm to our customers, our after-hours backup, and yeah, our experience in the industry, quite a few years.
And where can viewers find you? 10
Wahara West Road, and the phone number is 888 4405.
Fantastic, Sean. Thank you so much for that.
Excellent. Thank you.
So for all your milk and water services, call Sean or Cheryl at Milk and Water Services. Our next business is going to give us a glimpse of the rural property market. Let's go talk to Kevin Deane. Hi Kevin, can you give us a quick review of the current rural property market?
Pretty much it's action time now. We're less than 120 days till June the 1st, which is the traditional period of changeover for dairy farms. You know, most of the farmers swap properties then. So time's sort of starting to run down. So before Christmas, a little bit stagnant, but certainly now multiple buyers looking at properties, and indeed last night multiple offers. So that's where like 5 people put an offer in on one property at one time. So, and that property had only been on the market for I think 11 days. So certainly a little bit more heat creeping into the market.
What are some simple ways farmers can increase their property value?
Well, it's the ordinary things, you know, keep your roadsides mown, your hedges trimmed, you know, potholes out of your driveways, but it's also about your paperwork, making sure you're up to date with all your farm records, your effluent control, production records, fertiliser history, because buyers don't just look at the farm, they look at how the farm is run, so those things are really vital.
Are there any runoff properties available at the moment for growing maize or extra feed?
Not a lot, but indeed there's a lot of interest out there for, one for obviously growing support crops, but a lot of people aren't happy how their young stock are coming back from being contract grazed, so yeah, definitely a demand out there.
So just out of interest, what sort of a price range would we be looking at for a small dairy farm with a house, a cottage and a cow shed?
If you look at an atypical little 50 hectare, 60 hectare dairy farm, including the Fonterra shareholding now, you know, which is if you supply Fonterra, you're probably looking around the 50,000 a hectare, so you're looking at around $2.5 million plus GST, and then you've got your stock and your machinery on top of that.
What's the forecast for the rural property market? What are the trends?
Well, my little veil of wisdom isn't quite there, but I think, Kate, we see a little bit more strengthening in the market this year. One is interest rates are staying strong. 2 is the commodity prices are continuing to strengthen through the global dairy trades. And also at the end of the day, the demand for the food worldwide, there's more markets coming on tap for our product. And the other thing that really taps it up is the shortage of supply, i.e. not a lot of farms out there for purchase. People are tending to hold on to their land, so that's pushing a bit of a premium onto existing properties.
Now you recently moved your Matamata office. Why was this?
No, at the end of the day it was about some more Main Street presence, and since we came here about 4 years ago, been looking for the right premises, and we've had our eye on this building for a little while, and yeah, it's come together at the end of the day, and we're actually pretty chuffed about it, and I think you're well aware we've got a big opening coming up. It's going to be good times.
Yeah, so you're holding an opening event soon. What can we expect?
Oh, look, it's really just about inviting people in to come and have a look at the business, meet the team, and really see what a real estate business is about as much as anything. But we'll also have some of our key influencers here.
And when is this event? If
you look on our website, kdre.co.nz, all the details will be up by the end of the week.
So how can we contact you, Kevin? What are your details?
It's simple. The best one is on the website, kdre.co.nz, but our direct number here at the office, 880 9762. Give us a whistle, and love to catch up.
Fantastic, Kevin. Thank you so much for your time.
No worries.
So if you're in the rural property market, be sure to give Kevin and the team a call. Well, that's the show for this week. Thanks for watching, and make sure you get out there and support your local businesses. When you do, make sure to tell them that you saw them on Destination Central. See you again next week as we head to Thames.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.